The 1962 China-India War was a short but decisive conflict that changed the course of history for China and India. What began as a border dispute quickly escalated into a full-scale war driven by China's expansionist ideology and distrust of India's support for the Dalai Lama and some other reasons. The war lasted about a month and ended with a clear Chinese victory, leaving India humiliated and militarily unprepared. But the impact of this war went far beyond the battlefield. It turned what was once a manageable diplomatic rivalry into a long-term, deeply rooted geopolitical conflict. China came away with a strong sense of military superiority, while India was left with a deep-seated fear and mistrust of its northern neighbor. This fear led India to significantly increase its military spending, develop nuclear weapons, and strengthen its defense posture. However, the next major clash in 1967 at Nathula and Chola proved that India had learned from its past mistakes. In this battle, the Indian army decisively defeated Chinese forces, showing that the 1962 loss was not a permanent indicator of military strength. This victory restored some of India's confidence and signaled that it would no longer be an easy target for China. Even so, tensions between the two countries have remained high, with multiple border clashes over the decades, the most recent being in 2020. The war also complicated diplomatic relations in the region, drawing in neighboring countries like Nepal, Bhutan, and Pakistan, all of whom have played key roles in the India-China rivalry. Beyond the battlefield, the conflict reshaped alliances and security concerns in South Asia. It strengthened China's alliance with Pakistan, fueling India's fear of a two-front war. Meanwhile, Tibet became another major source of conflict as India continued to support Tibetan refugees, increasing China's suspicions of Indian intentions. China occupied Tibet in 1950 to 51. This legacy of hostility has led to repeated border standoffs and a constant military buildup in the Himalayas. Today, China sees India as a secondary threat, while India views China as its biggest security challenge. The long-term impact of this war continues to influence Asia's balance of power, shaping military strategies, regional politics, and global alliances. While some argue that India and China would have eventually become rivals regardless, the 1962 war locked them into a cycle of distrust and competition that shows no sign of ending. As both nations rise as global powers, their unresolved tensions remain a critical factor in shaping the future of Asia and beyond.